Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've all been following the whole Silicon Valley exodus, and Miami's not the only city that people are flocking to. I mean, why do you think that exodus is happening? Do you feel like it's due to the way San Francisco's run, or dissatisfaction with living conditions there?
I think it's a variety of things, and I just mentioned some of them. I don't like to call out specific cities because their mayors are my friends. And I'm blessed to lead the U.S. Conference of Mayors in January of next year. But I think it's the issues that I talked about, not being welcoming, increasing taxes, crime that's rampant, homelessness that's sort of taken over the city. And I've had people that are 6, 7 generation inhabitants of cities, 6, 7 generations that are saying, I'm done, I've had enough, I'm out. So I think sometimes cities take their residents sometimes for granted, and they actually think that they're actually doing something good. But when you look at, for example, where we came from Cuba, and it's a country where the government basically nationalized all property, said, oh, don't worry, we're going to make everybody equal. The solution to poverty, the solution to inequality is government's going to take over, we're going to make everybody equal, and that's going to solve the problem. And we've seen how that worked out. You know what I mean? We've seen a place like Venezuela, which was the second wealthiest country in the world. 90% of its residents now live below the poverty level. 90% from the second wealthiest country in the world. So, for me, growing the size of government has never been the solution and will never be the solution. That's not how I feel. And I think you putting more resources in the hands of the private sector. The private sector is incredibly generous. But the private sector cannot solve everybody's problems either. And a company didn't create those problems, and they're sure not going to be able to solve those problems. Actually, I think that tech, to the extent that we can solve a lot of these problems, tech is probably going to be a big part of the solution. You know what I mean? Crime, for example, I have a gunfire detection system. I know with GPS precision, anytime a gun is fired, instantly. And we're working on some second and third generation things that will hopefully leverage that technology. So, if you could stop urban homicides, I mean, imagine if I had the ability to stop urban homicides, right? Like that would be earth-shattering in terms of quality of life, right? And in terms of peace in a city. So I don't think technology is the big bad, thing. I'm certainly any company, whether it's technology or otherwise, that came in could be a gentrifier or stratifier. There's no doubt about it. But what I've actually seen with a lot of these technology companies is quite the opposite. Almost the first thing that they tell me is, how can we become part of the social fabric? What are the companies what are the organizations that we should be investing in? How do we keep growing this ecosystem? So they're cognizant of the reputation they have, whether it's deserved or not, and they want to invest in it. So that's been my experience.